Today we're working on repairing termite damage to the bandboard of a house. There originally had been steps here. The termites went in through the steps into the base of the building. So we're going to show you what to do. We're going to go in the basement. We're going to jack up these joists on timbers. Then we're going to cut inside on both ends using an oscillating saw to remove these pieces of bandboard as well as the sill plate, which are both rotted out, termite eaten. So I'll give you progress along the way. The first thing I've done is to saw through from the outside right here so I can see where that piece is going to be removed. Did the same thing over here. Okay, so I've located, this is the one end, and this is the other end. You can see the saw cut. Next step is to use an oscillating saw. And we're going to cut that board parallel to the joist, and that'll be where our piece goes into. Okay, the next step is to hang a 4x4 from the joist. And then we're going to stand up columns with jacks on top of them. So you want to go and borrow all your neighbors' hydraulic jacks, bottle jacks I'm talking about. The next step is to take the pole that you're going to use as your column, subtract the length of the jack, cut the column board off, stand the jack up on top, and pump it up until it's snug. Here you see the 4x4 across the joist, supported by the 4x4 columns. The next step, now that we've got our supports, is to take the bandboard off. The bandboard is this 2x10 that runs across. And I'm going to start, there's anchor bolt holes from the deck. I'm going to cut up and down and then pull this piece out. There's a seam right here. The saw cut is in place. Here's the hole, sawed up the plywood down to the sill plate. My assistant's hammering from the inside, and it's starting to push out. So here we see the bandboard being cut out and pried out with a crowbar. Okay, so the bandboard's out of the way. Now we're going to take the sill plate out. This is a sill plate I took out. Here you can see the siding beyond where we cut, and here you can see the other side where the siding is outside of the bandboard. That's why we're splitting the bandboard in the middle and going to feed it in from the middle to the sides. Here you can see we're holding up the flooring while we're doing the bandboard and sill plate replacement. This is where we've cut the bandboard and the sill plate off. There's just a little bit of damage still in that piece. Okay, so then you slide the board in to where it was cut off to the right, which is about 10-12 inches past the siding, flush with the old bandboard. And this new bandboard will go in and we're splitting the difference on a joist. This half of the bandboard is in place. In this particular case, the plywood had about 1.5 inch wide strip on top, so we're going to have to feed a little piece in above it to hold up this threshold. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. So the new bandboard is in place on this half. I took the columns out because we got to work some more termite damage toward the right. Where the bandboard meets up where we've cut the old one off, there's not a good way to get to it because it's behind the lap siding. And the sill plate also needed a screw, so we put a toenail this way. Around the other side of that same board, you can see 4 toenail screws put in to the bandboard. Here you can see some of the toenailing into the sill plate. Right-hand half of the bandboard is screwed into position. The sill plate is screwed to the joists. So this is the left-hand piece that's been installed. The splice is right there, just in line with the joist beyond the electrical box. Here's the other side, all the way in. Here you can see the splice in the sill plate. It's got a toenail screw holding it in. And you can see the toenails. And this one about to be put in to the joist to hold it together to the sill plate. This is the far left bandboard that was cut off. We used the oscillating saw, and because it's behind the lap siding, I can't get to it to screw it together. So I've toenailed it from this side. This was the first cut, and this is how far we had planned to go with the sill plate. But it turned out the sill plate was bad even farther. So we had to go all the way over to here to get the termites damage done. And again, I used the column method with the jacks to lift the beams, but we didn't cut the bandboards because the bandboards were good. Now that the sill plate and the bandboard are in, I went back and used foam to caulk it all in. Due to a download catastrophic fault, my video of the last section didn't get finished. So you remember that from here I had a board going this way. We also put the sill plate in this direction, slid the bandboard in here, and then toenailed it with the other one right there. Then after this was all put together, I put in screws holding the bandboard to the sill plate all the way across, and they were on those pictures and they're lost.